My name is Jay Benedict Brown. I'm the sound designer at Midtown Arts Center, and we're currently running Sound of Music. My day starts by powering up the gear that we run the system with. That is both the sound gear and the lighting gear in this case. Not only am I the sound designer, I'm also the sound operator and the lighting operator and running sound effects for the show. Starts by coming in the building and powering up the automated soundboard that we use, and also powering up the laptops, the first laptop that runs the sound cues, that is the sound effects that people hear, and also the laptop that runs the lighting system. Once those two systems are up, or once those laptops are up, I will go back and make sure that the breakers that power on the dimmer racks, that's the big boxes that power up the lights to whatever level that you want, make sure those are up and functioning. Then come back and make sure that the more complicated instruments, the lighting instruments that are the movers, are functioning properly. At that point, I am fairly freed up until what's called the first call, which is a point where the wait staff is ready for people to come into the room. They let me know to issue what's called the first call, and I push the button on the laptop that lets the audience know that it's time to come into the auditorium. My next call is probably not until an hour later after that, when I give the call. It says it's 10 minutes to our pre-show announcements. Another call, it says it's 5 minutes to a pre-show announcement. Once the person doing what's called the curtain speech or the pre-show speech goes on, I operate the lights for the house. That's the auditorium where the show runs. And also the lights for, there's a cue to spotlight the performer as he's going up for that, and also to operate his microphone. Then there's a bit of multitasking that happens in that while the person giving the pre-show speech is up there doing that, I put on a set of headphones and I can actually go from microphone to microphone on each performer, and I can talk to them and say, okay, we're doing sound check, and proceed on down the line. Once the person that's on stage stops speaking for the pre-show speech, I change the lighting as he exits. I turn off that microphone, so that isn't a problem. And then at that point, I'm waiting for a 2-minute call, usually from the house manager or restaurant manager, to say, okay, restaurant's good to go. Once restaurant is good to go, then we make sure we go backstage and make sure the backstage is good to go. Then we call which actors at places, and we start the show. I tell the board, okay, bring up the pit, bring up the faders that control the sound system, and I press go on that, and we hear 4 bells. At the same time, I go back, turn off the house lights down to half. At the same time, I go over to the light control system, which is a laptop, to have that go, and that does a setting for that sequence. Once we are into the show, I have a notebook that I follow that notates when there is a sound cue or a light cue or a soundboard cue. That proceeds through the entirety of the show. Once the show is over, in general, if things have gone well, my job is over for the day.